Hi, I'm Asatsu 5, and I have a truly massive knife to show you today. This is a friend of mine's knife. He let me borrow it for this tabletop. How I came across it was one day he came over and he said, hey man, I need y'all to sharpen my knives. We're fixing to process a bull. And my brother said, yeah, sure, because all of our friends go to my brother, Chemo Kid, to sharpen their knives. You know, he's just very talented at it. He's good. Anyways, he starts pulling out all these knives, you know, boning knives. You know, he had like a butcher knife, and then he pulled out this thing. And as soon as I saw it, I knew it was something special. And it is. I mean, just look at the size of it. It is 16 inches overall length. I'll show that to you right now. That was the 16-inch mark. And then, just to show you, you know, it's tip to tip. And it's just truly massive. It's about 2.5 inches wide. And let's see, it's like a little bit over 9.5 inches, or 9.5 inches long blade, but it's just a huge knife, and it's heavy too. It's heavy as all get out. And I'll edit in a video of my brother chopping with this knife. We haven't really sharpened it yet because by the time we sharpened his boning knives and other knives, we didn't really have enough time to get to this one because we had to get back and take care of that bull. So we really didn't get to sharpen this knife, but we are going to do that and give it back to him soon. But anyways, I thought since we had it here, I'll tell you about it. It's awesome. I can't say that enough. It's just one of those knives that once I saw it, I just knew that it had some history behind it. And it does. I mean, it's not, you know, amazing history, but, you know, something interesting to people who really enjoy knives, people who enjoy vintage knives. And this knife is vintage. I'm going to go ahead and get rid of this tape measure. And by the way, I said this knife is 16 inches overall. For those of you who do not appreciate numbers, you know, you don't really can't really convert in your head 16 inches. Well, that's about this big or whatever. You know, you need a point of reference to give you an idea how big that is. I got another knife to show you. This is the Cold Steel Lealdo Bowie, and it is not as big as the this knife right here. I matched it up butt to butt, and you can see right there, because of the you know, this has this kind of upswept shape to it, kind of goes up, that you know, they're very close to the same size, but the top butcher knife is just a whole lot more, you know, it's just bigger. But, you know, there's the Lealdo Bowie in comparison, as far as the size comparison goes. And you're probably wondering, I've been talking about how big it is because I'm still shocked about the size of it, but you're probably wondering what knife it is. Well, I'm going to bring you up close, hopefully you can see it, and if not, I'll annotate a picture where you can see it. But this is a Foster Brothers knife. It says solid steel on it. It's funny, you have to really see this to appreciate it. But I'll annotate a picture right now. Alright, you saw that? You saw that it said solid steel right here. It says Foster Brothers, and then it has TRADL, and it has the trademark, and then it has a number right here that says 156 or 155G. It's one of those. I think it's 156. It could be a 0. It's kind of hard to tell because it has a patina on it. And you can also see that the spine of the knife is just gashed all the heck. Someone's been batoning with this, maybe using it as a striking tool, as a hammer. You know, but this knife has really been used. There's a nick right here. But to give you a brief history on the Foster Brothers Company, let me get my little piece of paper. The Foster Brothers Company started in 1878, and continued to produce knives till 1953. They specialize in butcher knives, and they've made I think they made like a couple, you know, just a small amount of pocket knives, but their specialty was butcher knives, and they also made knives for the U.S. military, Navy, Army, Marines. You know, they made butcher knives for the Army. They made, well, this is kind of scary. They were a butcher knife company, but they made hospital knives for the U.S. military. So kind of let you know what was going on, you know, back in the day. And they also made trench knives during World War I. And supposedly how this company kind of got started, you know, is Foster Brothers. It's a company that I assume two brothers named Foster, you know, started a knife company. You know, I read this a while back. I'm kind of going off memory, so forgive me if my details aren't really good. But it was a lot of reading to get this information. But anyways, they started a knife company, and a farmer came in and said, "I want a knife that can split a pig." You know, so that's just what you get. And they made knives in all different sizes. You know, they made the regular butcher knife. They made oval-sized cleavers. You know, they made like 20-pound cleavers. They made, you know, like an 18-inch version of this knife. They, you know, just all kinds of different variations on this knife. Boning knives, butcher knives, cleavers. I think this might actually be considered a cleaver, but it does kind of have a upswept point to it, or blade to it. So I imagine it was also expected to cut as well. By the way, it's still pretty dull. And I don't know if I said this already, but I'm going to show a chopping video where we're chopping a piece of wood with it, and it's still dull, and it's making chips fly for the most part.
And that's pretty dull. I mean, it's sharper than it was, but you can see. Try this real quick.
And so anyways, that's kind of the backstory behind it. The company started from 1878 to 1953, and it's just huge. I wanted to show it to you because, I mean, look at this. I can two-hand grip this handle and chop with it. And I have a friend who's in the butcher business, and he's, I don't want to call him old, but, you know, he's a seasoned veteran of the butcher trade. He's been in there for a long time. And I took this knife up there because it's kind of curious looking. It's not quite a cleaver, but it's not quite a cutting knife. You know, it has, you know, that upsweep to it, and belly has a convex edge, and you know, it has this hole right here. It's just kind of curious looking. I went up to him and I said, "Alright, first of all, do you recognize this knife? Have you ever, you know, do you recognize it?" He said, "No, I really don't. It's, you know, a lot older than me." And like I said, this company started in 1878. But he, and I said, "Well, do you know what the hole's for?" Because when I saw the hole, I figured it had some kind of super secret butcher use for it. You know, I had no idea why this would have a hole in this knife. And he looked at me and said, "Oh, that's so you can hang it up on a peg and clean it." and so then I kind of felt a little stupid. But anyways, he said basically, you know, I never had much use for cleavels, because back when he was a butcher, you know, even he's been in the butcher trade for a long time, they had bandsaws, so they didn't really have a use for butcher, for cleavels. He said pretty much what you'll do is you'll get a piece of meat, and you'll use like the side, or I guess this guy used the spine, and you'll hammer this peg or a nail into this piece of meat. You know, it's a huge chunk of meat, and then you'll use this to, you know, chop the bones. And also it's used to split the pig from, you know, from the middle. You know, if you want to cut a pig in half and roast half the pig. So this was used for the big splitting jobs, and that's what my friend uses it for. He uses it for cutting the bones, or more or less smashing the bones into two separate pieces. And I wanted to show you this because you know, a lot of people, they get really into the new tactical knives and the you know, really fancy stuff. But these old vintage ones, you know, they have a story to tell, and you can tell by looking at it. You know, patina, blood stains, you know, and again, it has said solid steel on here. Look how thick that is. That's just, to me, it's amazing. I love holding this knife. It's heavy. But I wanted to show that to you. I'm sorry if I held you up. I kind of started blabbering about how big it is, and that's pretty much about what this video is about, this big old knife. But I thought you might enjoy it. It's definitely something interesting for anybody who loves knives, and especially old or antique knives. And I wanted to share it with you. I'm a Satsu 5, and I am out.